Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
All right. Shall we get this thing started? Yes, we shall stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Thursday, the 18th of April, 2024, where we are going to talk about some things, including that. Now, yes, those are those kind of weird furry people, but it's even more than that, because this is something that happened in Utah, and I'm just dumbfounded by it. So I'm going to talk about it eventually, but it makes for an interesting picture, doesn't it? It just does. Anyway, and as usual, I'm late. I do have my cup of coffee. I'm in the grandpa mug again today because I washed it out and thought I'm gonna use it again, because I'm proud to be a grandpa. But anyway, let's get into the show. We got some things that are happening right now in the news and so on and so forth. So let's just get it started. First in the chat over on Rumble, Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell because he's here first. Because that bell means you're first, baby. All right. And also, good morning, Jimmy Das Hotep, who also has his own theme music over on YouTube. Oh, Mike, I forgot to hit this button here. Hang on a second. Let me hit that button. Let's see if it still affects anything. Hopefully not. Okay, I can still see you. First in the chat over on YouTube. It's also Mr. Avocados Diablo because he's Johnny on the spot. Also, good morning. Somnambul Nation, Jimmy Das Hotep, Kara Soldier. Transformers teaser dropped. Interesting. Also, good morning, Lord Stanhope. If I only drink white wine, does that make me racist? No, that just makes you gay. Because you got to drink red wine too. Okay, I didn't mean that. Anyway, also, hello. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Attack Alpacas in the house. Special K on acid. Simon Wolfwood. Simon Wilkins, what's happening? Good morning also to Green Badger Outdoors is here. Mr. Tyre Alexander. The Scourge. Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony. Is anyone else here? I'm scrolling down, and Tyler F is in the house, so that's a good start. That's a few people rolling in. I when I do these late shows, I don't want to spend as much time waiting for the notifications to go out. And I did tweet out the show. If you want to, if you're following me on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, you can certainly do that. I can, in fact, here's the link. There's the link to my post. Some of you have already done this, but I would really appreciate it if all of you would do it when you have the chance, or post this on some other social media that you're active on. If you're active on any other social media or any other places, thank you to the people who've already done that, though. Let's find out who those are. I'm going to click the notification button here. As soon as my computer's geeking out today, so I might have some problem. Wait, you too? Oh, I knew that. Why is this not working? Holy shit. I need to get a new processor. Thank you, Maddie and Somnambul Nation, who's already done that. Is Maddie in the house? Well, if you are, there's your horn. Also, good morning thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, Simon Wilkins, and I think that's everybody who's tweeted the show out. So I appreciate you doing that. That really helps. We gain a few people here and there because of that, and it helps algorithmically too, I guess. When I don't know why it does, but it does. So there you go. So let's go ahead and get into my list today. Why my computer's really a mess. My computer is now I don't have a day. And also, you know what, usually on days that, on any given day, there'll be some, birthdays trending, there'll be some different things trending. And today there's just not. Like, there's not the special day. I mean, it's Friday. It's Friday. Friday Eve, not Friday, but Friday Eve. Oh, Transformer. Okay, now Transformers is now trending too. Wait, TTBPD board meeting. Oh, is that some Taylor Swift shit? Hang on a second. What is this? There's some things trending now that weren't trending when I looked through my trending list. TTPD board meeting. The tortured poets department. What the hell does that mean? It's some Taylor Swift crap, I guess, or something. I don't know what that means. Well, something to Taylor Nation. I don't care. Don't care about that. Sorry, I'm not going to talk about it. But Transformers is trending now. I'll put a link to the Transformer stuff in the links today. Apparently, the new Transformer movie has a trailer out, and I will link it here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put it on the screen. Why is that not working? There we go. Come on. I'm not going to play the trailer, but anyway, every Transformer has an origin. Watch the new trailer for Transformers 1, only in theaters September 20th. Is it an animated version? Yes, it is. It looks like it's going to be an animated version of Transformers. So, if you want to see that trailer, you can watch it. It'll be in the links. Thank you, Somnambule Nation. It's National Exercise Day, which I am mourning. And it's also National Animal Crackers Day. Are the animals all white people? I'm not sure what that means. And then also National High Five Days. Yes, that was a joke. Okay. And I'm sure it failed miserably. Whatever. So anyway, let me go into some things that are trending. Bill Barr is trending. I'm just going to go through the list because I didn't really open a whole lot of stuff today. Bill Barr is trending. Apparently he was on some show where he said, let's show what his words are. Bill Barr and why the New York hush money case is a bunch of nonsense and why he's voting Trump in November. Oh, I thought Bill Barr thought Trump was a jackass too. Maybe he does, but he knows what's up. So here's what's going on with Bill Barr. Maybe.
Trial has begun here in New York City. It's quite a spectacle, quite an event. I know that you think that the prosecution seems far-fetched. Maybe the best way I could, maybe that's the kindest way that I can say that.
Far-fetched is
your
kind.
thoughts as to how this is going now that it's underway and what you think about it?
Well, I've said from the beginning, this case is an abomination. You know, it's obviously political. 7 years after he pays hush money to try to come up with this case. It's also, as you say, it's not only far-fetched, they're trying to predicate it on a federal crime.
I'm going to pause this because they've got 7 jurors, and this is, they're showing, I'm going to go back to this because, and it's kind of fuzzy on my screen. I don't know why. Let me see if I can get the resolution up. Video quality. Let's go there. Just your video quality is probably already better than mine. So the first juror, number 1, is a Harlem salesman, outdoorsy type. Reads New York Times, Daily Mail, Fox, and MSNBC. Interesting. I doubt it. Nurse, number 2, as a nurse, New York Times, and they asked what kind of where they get their media from, apparently. New York Times, Google, CNN. This is CNN. No opinion of Trump. Yeah, right. Are there people on this planet that have no opinion of Trump? Interesting. Juror number 3, Asian male, lawyer from Oregon. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Google. Juror number 4,
you know, it's obvious.
Puerto Rican. Fascinated by Trump, Daily News, New York Times, Google.
Juror
number 5, a black woman gets her news from, she's in her 20s, gets news from Google, TikTok, and Charlemagne the God. That's, sure, you know, the what is it, the 106 morning show, whatever. And then
years after he pays hush money to try to come up with
juror number 7, Disney employee joked around in court, New York Times, Google, Facebook, TikTok. And finally,
it's also
juror number 7, a middle-aged white man.
You're fucking a white male!
Lawyer. He's a lawyer. And New York Times, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, Washington Post, and NPR. Now, notice how some of these people throw in some conservative outlets just to make it sound like there's something. I don't know. Anyway, interesting. Anyway, let's listen to Bill Barr, and then we got a super.
They're trying to predicate it on a federal crime, which wasn't prosecuted, and they're wrong about it. This was not a campaign contribution. They're just wrong on the law. But to me, this shows that the real threat to liberty, the real threat to our system, are the excesses.
Uh-oh. Boomer Tech what? Did something go wrong? Did we die? Hang on. Let me check here. Am I having a tech issue? I hope not. What does that mean, Tyre? Did the show die? No, it's fine. What? Okay. You make me nervous when you say Boomer Tech, because shit happens on this show, and it could have been real. Okay, don't mess with me like that. Let's go back to this. All right, what else Anyway, the point is, Bill Barr thinks this case in New York City is a joke. And so people are very angry with Bill Barr. That's why he's trending. Well, some people are angry. So Newt Gingrich, former Attorney General Bill Barr, explained the real threat to democracy, the real threat to liberty, the real threat to our system are the excesses of the progressive left. They are perverting the system of justice, and that's where the danger lies. The corruption and subversion of our institutions by the left. Good morning, by the way. Unacceptable views. I see you there. So that pissed people off. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. Thank you, Avocados Diablo, for sponsoring the show, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Says it's National Lineman's Appreciation Day, so go fly a kite. Oh, I was thinking like those big, giant, burly dudes in the NFL, or someone who actually, hangs on a thread to fix electrical wires. I don't know what that means. What kind of linesman does that mean? The Wichita linesman, maybe? The Wichita linesman. I can't remember how that song goes. Anyway, thank you, Avocado Stably. Go fly a kite, he says. There you go. 70-year-old eyes, come on, they're only 60. All right, so anyway, that's Newt Gingrich's take on Bill Barr. But then you have people like Keith Boykin, who hates Trump with a passion, and the nitwits over at MSNBC. Trump's former Attorney General Bill Barr said Trump is a troubled man, a consummate narcissist, and a horrible show who committed very grave wrongdoing and will bring chaos to America, but he'll support the ticket. Republicans are spineless. Well, what's your choices? Your choices are Donald Trump, who I even say is a jackass, but I'd rather have him win this election than I would the demented old fool. But besides, Trump's policies match what I want him to do. So there you go. So anyway, Jojo from Jers. Fuck Bill Barr. He had said some shit to sell some books once upon a time, but at the end of the day, this is who he is, a fucking traitor. Can we finally chuck his name into the dustbin of history and be done with it once and for all, please? Yeah, you dumb whiny liberals. Go to hell. Anyway, so people have very strong feelings about Bill Barr, and they're very upset with him. Some are, and some are just like, well, no, he's right. Look, Bill Barr is gonna, that Bill Barr is gonna tell you what he believes, and sometimes he thinks, he believes Trump is a bad guy, and sometimes he thinks Trump is right. In this case, he's talking about the case against Trump, and regardless of his feelings about Trump, he realizes who the better choice is for president. That's his choice. And so that's what he did, and get over it. Moving on. Also trending. Now, here's a question for you. I'm going to do a poll, because before I even mention this person, I'm doing a poll. Do you have any idea I'm not even saying do you have any idea. Do you know, without looking it up, who Asia, spelled A''J-A, Wilson is? Before I asked. Do you know who Asia Wilson is? I'm going to skip that topic and come back to it. Okay, here we go. So we're going to skip Asia, which is the next one trending, and I'll skip this one too. Let's see. Skip that, because these are all related to Asia. Nope, skip that. Skip that. I have 4, because there's 4 things trending related to that. Let's move on. Dan Crenshaw is trending, Eye Patch McCain. And he's trending because Tucker Carlson apparently ripped into Dan Crenshaw, well, I don't know. I'll just call him a McCain Republican, right? A McCain Republican. And he did a whole, I don't know if the whole show was on, the whole show wasn't on Crenshaw, but the episode 95 of the Tucker Carlson show that he's uncensored. Why did the red states produce the dumbest, most liberal Republicans? Why aren't John Cornyn and Dan Crenshaw bagging groceries at Walmart? Jesse Kelly has some thoughts about this. And here's the, I guess, the big dunk apparently on Dan Crenshaw from Tucker Carlson.
Why is it that
This
Republican states tend to have the least sincere Republican? Like Dan Crenshaw, apparently still a member of Congress from the state of Texas, who is zero interest in the U.S. border. All his interest is in the Ukrainian border, the Gaza border. You know, how does a guy like that get elected in a supposedly Republican state? Why?
Here's why. Because if you run for office in a Republican state, as with an R next to your name, you're likely to get elected. That's why. And you're going to get some of those. Hello, Trippy Liberty and GDSOB, by the way. That's why. And so you're going to have, you know, as long as it's an R, you get elected. And people maybe need to think about who they're electing. I don't know. Now, and Manu Raju, who's on the left, says hardliners rail against Speaker Johnson's plans. GOP Dan Crenshaw told me here, I guess their reasoning is they want Russia to win so badly that they want to oust the speaker over it. I think it's a strange position to take. I think they want to be in the minority too. Look, who did he and Anomaly makes a good point here. Republicans in red states will make fun of California, then vote in Crenshaw in deep red country. So that's it. And that's, you know, part of this is they're mad about him with the FISA FISA authorization. When will House GOP learn that Crenshaw is the most despised member of the conference now that Cheney and Kinzinger are gone? If he's publicly advocating for something, Republican voters will instinctually be against it. Crenshaw's a liar and a snake. Because he says the reauthorization of the FISA is almost entirely intended to stop what happened to President Trump. Just the opposite. Honestly, but whatever. So that's why he's trending. Now, looks like I'm going to go back to this question of if you know who Asia Wilson is. Apparently someone did know who that was. So we're going to end that poll. But most of you had no idea who Asia Wilson is. Now, let's see. Someone mentioned something in the chat too about it. She is one of the only one of those I know by name, coincidentally. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So Asia Wilson is a professional basketball player. She plays, I believe, for the Las Vegas Aces. Is that correct? And this is a picture of Asia. She's a nice looking young woman, professional basketball player. Apparently Nike recently released a prototype for the signature shoe of A'ja Wilson. Wilson is recognized as one of the top players in the WNBA. From her elite defensive prowess to her sheer dominance at the rim, she has made quite a name for herself. Besides being one of the best players, she's also a part of one of the most dominant teams in the WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces. I wasn't sure. She won 2 WNBA titles in 2022 and 2023 and was the finals MVP in 2023. So that's why most of you don't know who A'ja Wilson is, because she plays in the WNBA. And I'm not knocking the WNBA. It is great for what it is, but it is, in my opinion, a minor league professional sport. Why do I call it a minor league professional sport? Because it does not, maybe minor league's not the right word for it. It's a niche sport, okay? People who love basketball or love to watch women play basketball will watch the WNBA, but it has very little popularity outside of its own fervent fan base. Now, what's interesting, though, is the Las Vegas Aces have sold out their season tickets for the first time, which they've only been around, I think, 4 or 5 years. Or I'm not sure how long they've been around, but they've this year they've sold out their season tickets, sold out their games, and it's because they're a 2-time defending champion. Now, I live in a city, the Twin Cities, where the Minnesota Lynx is a WNBA team, and in the years where they were very successful, they've won 4 championships since the league became a thing. And those years when they were championship teams, they also sold out their games. Now, I should have a caveat on that. They sold out their games because there were a couple companies in the Twin Cities that bought out the remaining seats in their games that were not sold and gave them away to kids. Okay, to try to get more people to go to the games. Now, during playoff times, obviously the team sold out because it's playoffs. But for the most part, the Lynx right now average about 7,500 attendees per game. Okay, now if you compare that to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who I believe are right around 19 or 18,000 a game. Or no, they're high 17,000 games. So the Timberwolves average 10,000 more butts and seats per game than the Lynx. But the Lynx still are among the top 5 or top 4 WNBA teams as far as attendance. And thank you, Avocados Diablo, for sponsoring the show again. Who says the WNBA is a feeder league for Russian prisons. Oh, God. Very good, very good. That's a Brittany Griner joke. So anyway, the reason A'ja is trending though is because of this Nike shoe thing, and there's people arguing on the internet as usual on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, about whether or not A'ja Wilson is marketable. And so when I said to you, and I asked you the question, do you know who A'ja Wilson is? I was curious. Does anyone know who that is? Because, it's great that Nike is making a shoe in her name, but they already have a deal with Caitlin Clark. Now, I'm assuming, in fact, if you knew who Caitlin Clark was before I just mentioned her name, even vaguely, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't know who she was, put a 0 in the chat. I'm pretty sure more people know who Caitlin Clark is just because of this recent, 2-year NCAA run. Her name's been everywhere. And even if you don't follow basketball, you're like, oh, that Caitlin Clark girl, she must the girl from Iowa. So people are talking about whether or not A'ja Wilson is marketable. And likely, so, and someone here says, so likely people, and they're having arguments about it because some people are saying she's not marketable because nobody follows WNBA. And so people are saying, well, the reason Caitlin Clark's getting a deal with Nike is because she's white. She's white. Oh, you didn't know who Caitlin Clark was either. I've mentioned her 3 days in a row because everyone keeps talking about her. every day there's something about the WNBA now because of the fact that she was a number 1 draft pick and that her salary is going to be $78,000 a year compared to, she got a $338,000 contract when the number 1 draft pick for the men, Wembanyama, had a $55 million contract to start. And it's because the economics of the NBA versus the WNBA. So anyway, it's a trending topic. A lot of people talking about it, and in particular, well, here's Nike's also trending because of it. But also because Jemele Hill has been really pushing this whole thing about the WNBA. And if you know who Jemele Hill is, she was formerly a CNN anchor, or not CNN, ESPN anchor. It got fired, and now she writes for The Atlantic, but she's, all about sports. And she was the one who had this tweet I talked about yesterday where she said, "I'm already annoyed by this conversation because for years WNBA players have fought for more money, and when they were outspoken, so many of y'all told them to shut up or reminded them how they had no value. The NBA has had 50 plus years of investment, media coverage, etc. After 27 years, the WNBA will not be the current NBA, so stop comparing them. For further context, the salary is for 4 months of basketball, 40 games. The players also receive a free apartment and a car. That doesn't make the salaries acceptable, but now you know why so many players play overseas to boost and supplement their incomes. Weaponizing this information against WNBA players is another form of misogyny." No! It's not a form of misogyny. That's the thing. It's just the economics and of professional sports and any other form of entertainment. People have limited entertainment dollars and time. The WNBA plays their games in the summer. So they're competing against Major League Baseball and summer. Sunshine, vacations, kids out of school, parents doing anything, traveling. That's what they're competing against, and they are not the highest level of basketball available, even in the summer. Now, what do I mean by that? There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of youth sports teams playing summer basketball. You want to see great basketball in the summer? Would you go to a WNBA game, or would you go to a Nike Youth League ball game? Because some of the best high school players in the country play there, and it's probably more exciting than the WNBA. Now, if you live in a WNBA city, you might go see a WNBA game if you're, got nothing else to do. Or if you really like WNBA basketball, you would go to that. But it's always going to be a niche league. It is not the highest level basketball you can find. The NBA is, college basketball, and also the fact that it's played during the off season of every other form of basketball other than summer ball for youth. I don't think the WNBA is ever going to be a major league sport. In the towns where they have a winning team, like the Las Vegas Aces, where they're selling out their crowd, great. But in teams like that where Caitlin Clark went to the Indiana Fever, well, they'll sell more tickets now because she's there. But last season, they averaged 3,000 people a game. Yes, 3,000. So if they get better, great. But I'm still saying that the WNBA is going to always be in a bit of obscurity. And I don't know if it'll ever make a profit. The only way that it's going to continue is if people like Caitlin Clark bring more people to watch the game, which I'm not betting on. So anyway, it's why it's such a huge topic on Twitter right now, I have no idea. All right, let's move on because there's a lot more trending topics. Joe Biden gave us some entertainment over the last couple of days. Apparently, Haifa is trending. Oh, not Crenshaw. That's Crenshaw. Haifa is trending. Now, Haifa is a city in Israel, and he got the cities mixed up, which, you know what? Here's the thing. You know the thing. You know the thing.
You know the thing.
He was saying something about Israel going into, the Israeli forces going into Rafah, and he said Haifa. Now this, to me, it's all over the place. Here's the clip.
And I made it clear to Israelis, don't move on Haifa. It's just made it clear to Israelis, don't move on Haifa. It's just not, I mean, anyway, I just, look what we did recently when Israel was attacked.
Okay, so anyway, now, to me, a lot of people can make that mistake. Haifa, Rafah, you don't spend your whole time talking about, well, he spent some time talking about, but he clarified that he has no, that apparently he clarified, what he clarified? He clarified that he has no problem with Israel attacking Rafah in Gaza, and his only demand is that Israel wouldn't attack Haifa, the third largest city in Israel, because Haifa is the third largest city in Israel. Look, to me, that's just an honest mistake. But anyway, here's a map. If you're not sure what we're talking about here, let's fit it on the screen. This Haifa is the third largest city in Israel, right up here, and Rafah is down here in the Gaza Strip. So, if it were Joe Biden and someone made that honest mistake and then corrected themselves and said, "Oh, I said the wrong thing," well, whatever. But also, New Guinea is trending because of Joe Biden. Now, this is a little more interesting because you know how Joe Biden likes to tell some tales, right? Joe Biden likes to some tales. Well, I just want you to watch this and listen to what he talks about here, and I want you to tell me if you believe this story. Okay, here it is. This is Joseph Rahim Biden again. Let me get it on the screen better. There we go. Let's listen to Joe Biden tell this story because he is using this story to criticize Trump, which again he brings up this same line that he's saying that Trump doesn't respect troops. Here, listen to this story.
Ambrose Finnegan, we called him Uncle Bozy. He was shot down.
Apparently, this is an uncle of Joe Biden, Ambrose Finnegan, he says Uncle Bozy, okay, was shot down in.
He was an Army Air Corps before there was an Air Force. He flew single-engine planes, reconnaissance flights over New Guinea. He volunteered because someone couldn't make it. He got shot down in an area where there were a lot of cannibals in New Guinea at the time. They never recovered his body, but the government went back when I went down there and they checked and found parts of the plane and the like. And what I was thinking about when I was standing there was when Trump refused to go up to the memorial for veterans in Paris.
How did this?
He said they're a bunch of suckers and losers.
How does that story relate? First of all, so he says that Uncle Bozy, he thinks, I guess he thinks Uncle Bozy got eaten by some cannibals. What? Now, he said my great uncle Bozy was shot down over New Guinea where he taught cannibals to make perfect old no, that's a joke. People are ripping him for this. This one says my great uncle Bozy my great uncle shut down over New Guinea where he taught cannibals to make perfect old fashioned using nothing but local ingredients. True story. Let's see. Okay, this is the third time he's told this. Oh, he told the story again. Wait a minute. Let's see this one. He just told this story more than once. Hang on a second. Let's put this on screen. Let's see this version of it.
Back when D-Day occurred, and on Sunday, the next day, My mother's 4 brothers all went down to the recruiting station and joined the military. Every one of them volunteered. And my uncle, they called him Ambrose, Brosey, they called him Bosey.
Wait a minute. Didn't he say World War I in the other story? I could have sworn he said World War I in the other story. He said his mother's brothers all signed up after D. Wait a minute. Let's start this story over. He said after D-Day, when the war was winding down. Wait a minute.
Back when D-Day occurred.
When D-Day occurred.
And
that's
on
when
Sunday, the next day, my mother's 4 brothers all went down to the recruiting station and joined the military. Every one of them volunteered. And my uncle, they called him Ambrose, Brosey, they called him Bosey. My uncle Bosey was a hell of an athlete, they tell me, when he was a kid. And he became an Army Air Corps before the...
Hold on. Wait a minute. I need you to see something here that I just noticed as he's speaking. Watch the gentleman to your left, Biden's right, with holding the United Steelworkers sign, not the guy with the glasses, but the guy right behind him as he tells his story. Because he looks like he wants to be anywhere else but where he is.
The Air Force came along. He flew those single-engine planes as reconnaissance over war zones. He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there were a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea.
For real? Oh, yes, for real.
And then my son volunteered to go to Iraq for a year, and he came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. And they gave, like many of you, risked your lives, and you know people who gave their lives to the country. They're heroes. But one of the things that as I was doing that today,
Okay, so anyway, he tells a story about Uncle Bosey a couple times. So now I scrolled down a little farther, and here someone says Uncle Bosey was a passenger on a courier flight that was forced to ditch in the ocean off the north coast of New Guinea. Both engines failed at low altitude. Not shot down over territory held by cannibals. So this is apparently, this is from this report right here, World War II. Here, I'll full screen this. World War II, United States Army Air Forces unaccounted for. On May 14, 1944, an A-20 Havoc, serial number 4286768, with a crew of 3 and 1 passenger, departed Momot Field, Los Negros Island, for a courier flight to Nadzab Airfield, New Guinea. For unknown reason, this plane was forced to ditch in the ocean off the north coast of New Guinea. Both engines failed at low altitude, and the aircraft's nose hit the water hard. 3 men failed to emerge from the sinking wreck and were lost in the crash. 1 crew member survived and was rescued by a passing plane. An aerial search the next day found no trace of the missing aircraft or the lost crew members. Second Lieutenant Ambrose J. Finnegan, that's Uncle Bosey or Bosey, whatever he said, entered the U.S. Air Forces from Pennsylvania and served in headquarters 5th Air Force. He was the passenger on this Havoc when it was lost. So he wasn't flying the single-engine plane either. He has not been associated with any remains recovered from the area after the war and is still unaccounted for. To date, Lieutenant Finnegan is memorialized on the walls of the missing at the Manila American Cemetery in the Philippines. So, that story is a flat-out lie.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Amazing. Nor, for what it's worth, did Uncle Bosey enlist on the day following D-Day. He had enlisted prior to D-Day and was already dead on D-Day. Oh my God. When D-Day occurred the next Monday, all four of my mother's brothers went down and volunteered. That's what he said. Okay, so this is a flat out lie by Joseph Rahim Biden. He made up the story. But that's Joe Biden for you. He's a fabulist. All right, moving on. Judge Stoner's training. Now, this is a disturbing story. I don't know if any of you followed this trial, but apparently, an Indianapolis mother walks free after admitting to smothering her 2-month-old baby's death between 2 couch cushions while high on methamphetamines. Judge Mark Stoner found Dacia Lacey not guilty of neglect resulting in the death. Lacey confessed that she wanted her daughter to stop crying and just be quiet so she could get some sleep. The mother, who was high on meth, smothered her daughter in the couch cushions. Judge Stoner said that prosecutors didn't do enough to prove she intentionally harmed her baby. Lacey was facing 20 to 40 years in prison. She now walks free. Let's hear the verdict here. This is insane. You're a judge. You can convict her of a lesser charge.
Court accordingly enters judgment of not guilty, reluctantly. I do hope that you will take the opportunity to get the counseling that you need, to get the counseling for the children that you need.
What?
That you learn from this behavior, and hopefully
learn from the behavior.
Learns from this behavior.
FTG. Yes, it is FTG Thursday.
Go out and party on the weekend and be with children. Court accordingly.
Okay, now I have a question. If she were high on methamphetamines and were driving a car and crashed that car into another person's car and killed them, would she at least get some form of manslaughter? And is this because the prosecutors went for too high of a charge and had no alternative? Couldn't a judge hold her accountable for this somehow? So anyway, mother, I didn't kill my daughter. I was just high on meth. That's all. Judge, no problem. You're not guilty. The crazy part, she admitted she killed her daughter. She admitted she did it. So now there's calls for just Indianapolis Retired Police Officer Association votes unanimously, calls on Judge Mark Stoner to step down from the bench. Didn't do enough to prove that she did it when she confessed that she did it. I wish I had. Do I have this on here? I do have here we go. So here it is. Meth mom free. Judge acquits Dacia Lacey in baby's death. Indianapolis mother, high on meth, admits to smothering a 2-month-old baby to death between 2 couch cushions, sparking outrage as Judge Mark Stoner allows her to walk free. The controversial decision has ignited a firestorm of criticism and debate on social media, questioning the integrity and effectiveness of the justice system. But you know what? Donald Trump bad. So, I hate to say it, maybe she just thought she was performing a postpartum abortion. I don't know. This is really messed up. Her other daughter, who's nearly 5 years old, testified against her mother, telling the judge that she saw her mother putting a pillow on the baby's face. Mark Stoner ruled the suspect did commit a criminal act of neglect that resulted in death. She was facing 20 to 40 years if she was convicted. Now she walks free and goes back to her other young children. This is insanity. So I don't know if, obviously there's people talking about that. That's terrible. That is just unbelievable. The Dems have been breaking all the rules since Hillary got beat. They believe in lies. They lie openly and don't care about laws. This is just another example. Yeah, I don't understand why the judge wouldn't convict her of a lesser charge, which a jury would be able to do that, right? The jury could say, they could have had options. So anyway, moving on, other controversial things that are happening. Joe Biden is looking at another $750 billion in student debt relief. Now, again, this is there's got to be some kind of separation of powers issue here where he has no authority whatsoever to do this, but he's doing it anyway. President Joe Biden's effort to address student loan debt, including the cancellation of 7.4 billion, why does it say 750 billion? 7.4 billion benefiting 4.3 million have sparked a heated debate on social media. Critics argue that such a measure could cost taxpayers $500 billion and disproportionately benefit high-income households. True. True. Student loan debt, usually people who have a little more, they probably make already more money. Hello, Mr. Hugh, by the way. Oh, and Darren Root's in the house. Nice to see you. Okay, so the discussion highlights the complexity of the student loan crisis, with some feeling relieved by loan forgiveness, while others express frustration over the impact on their credit scores and the fairness of the measures. The debate underscores the need for a fair and sustainable solution to address the student loan crisis. I got an idea. How about the people who took out student loans pay for them like all the rest of us did? Now, granted, the government has made it so easy to get student loans for just about anything that people can just take out loans and the schools can charge whatever they want because they know that the kids can get the loans. And maybe that's part of the problem. The value of college ends up being shit for some people. And then they have these student loans they took out, and they're in a lower paying job because they decided to major in feminist dance theory or some shit like that. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe we need to start taking a look at the schools, taking a look at how maybe their endowments should be involved in this so-called student debt relief. Because I tell you what, the endowments in some of these schools, are like some small state budgets. I gotta tell you. By the way, good morning, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And our friend Annalyn is in the house. So this is insane, though, that Joe Biden thinks that he can just, with a swipe of his pen, can cancel student loan debt that he had nothing to do with, has zero to do with. It's unbelievable. So Biden's new student loan program was announced in full. The group said he'd take care of what was left out, those experiencing financial hardship. This is a handout to his voters. Every last dollar is now earmarked for households who make more than the national average. Yes, people with student loans make more than the national average. Unreal. In absolute dollars, with Biden's student debt relief program, $58 billion goes to those who make $82,000. $7 billion goes to the neediest who only make $40,000 a year, and $19 billion goes to those who make over $312,000 a year. So, why? Why is he doing this? Well, it certainly might get him some votes. Now, this is something called the Student Borrower Protection Center. Student loans should never be a lifetime hardship, but they frequently are. Why? Well, because people pay the minimum forever. Well, pay more and pay off your student loans early. It doesn't have to be. It's like a mortgage. Oh, you know what else is? So when they say hardship, it should never be a lifetime hardship. You know what else is a lifetime hardship? The mortgage payment on my house. Maybe Joe Biden can cancel my mortgage debt. How about that? Mortgage debt should never be a lifetime hardship. So anyway, this is such a stupid thing, man. Now, President Biden's latest student loan cancellation plans will increase the total cost to taxpayers to $559 billion and benefit households earning more than $300,000 in annual income the most, per the University of Pennsylvania Penn-Wharton budget model. Wow, isn't that where Joe Biden's think tank is, at the University of Pennsylvania? I know, Joe Biden and think tank, that's an oxymoron, but you understand what I mean. That's where his little, his post-vice presidential office is, at the University of Pennsylvania. It's insane. It's fucking insane. Moving on. Also trending topics. The Senate shut down the Mayorkas impeachment vote quickly, 51-49. The United States Senate, in a swift decision along party lines, dismissed 2 articles of impeachment against Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. On Wednesday, Senate Democrats effectively ended the GOP's attempt to oust Mayorkas over his handling of the U.S.-Mexican border, highlighting a partisan divide on the issue. The impeachment trial, anticipated to be a significant event, was briefer than a typical morning commute to Washington, D.C., sparking debate over the precedent it sets for future impeachment proceedings. Well, interesting, because they went on, the Republicans said it went on ahead with the impeachments against Trump, and he was not impeached. And so, I don't know. FTG to the Senate right now. Speaker Mike Johnson's not very happy. My joint statement with Steve Scalise and Representative Stefanik, by voting unanimously to bypass their constitutional responsibility, every single Senate Democrat has issued their full endorsement of the Biden administration's dangerous open border policies. Secretary Mayorkas, along with President Biden, has used nearly every tool at his disposal to engineer the greatest humanitarian and national security catastrophe at our borders in American history. Tragically, Senate Democrats don't believe this catastrophe merits their time or a discussion on the Senate floor. Instead, they're signaling to millions demanding accountability that the cabinet official directly responsible for this disaster, who has ignored the law and misled Congress repeatedly, is above reproach. The American people will hold the Senate Democrats accountable for this shameful display. So anyway, it's Cat Turd says to Mike Johnson, "Who cares? We're getting targeted by a proven corrupt FBI without a warrant because you don't give a fuck about the citizens. You are a complete and utter fraud. Resign." So some people are not happy with Mike Johnson. It's whatever. And then Hodgson, it's time for you to step down. You let the people down big time. So they're mad still about the FISA stuff. Oh, that's a parody account. Never mind. Rand Paul tells Speaker Mike his time is up, says he endorses Congressman Thomas Massey's call for Speaker to resign, says Republicans need real leadership Johnson lacks. So he's getting flack from the right also. That'd be Speaker Mike Johnson. In Breitbart, they talked about this. Democrats shut down Senate trial for Mayorkas impeachment charges. Basically, it's not going to tell you anything that I didn't just tell you, other than the vote initiated by Majority Leader Chuck the smarmy prick from New York, Schumer, declared that the first article of impeachment was unconstitutional because the charges against Mayorkas didn't rise to the impeachable level of high crimes. Well, the House articles of impeachment charge Mayorkas with the willful and systematic refusal to comply with the law, including Congress's law that asylum seekers be detained until their legal claims are completed. So, the idea that Mayorkas committed high crimes and misdemeanors, which is the standard to be impeached, I guess. They may or may not have a point. I don't know. Is the enforcement of law the prerogative of the branch? Meaning the executive branch of the government, the enforcement branch. And I guess it is. I mean, if you're so derelict in your duty, that you just you're not following the law, is that a high crime and misdemeanor, or is that the purview of your office? And he lies over and over and over and over. Now, immediately after the vote, Schumer proposed a vote to take down the second article of impeachment, which said Mayorkas lied to Congress about border security or a breach of public trust. It's a felony, Senator John Kennedy said as he proposed a motion to delay the vote. The Democrats passed their motion at 4:16 p.m., wiping out the second article of impeachment. Republican legislators say the Democrats want to minimize public recognition of the damage caused by Mayorkas' refusal to enforce the nation's popular and beneficial immigration laws. The evidence is devastating, said Senator Kennedy told Fox News. It will gut them like a fish. Mayorkas has repeatedly explained that he supports more migration because of his migrant parents, his sympathy for migrants, and his support for equity. Whenever you hear the word equity, what do we do, class? Run. Between Americans and foreigners. Or equity between American and foreigners. Who cares? That's no. He also justifies his welcome for migrants by saying his priorities are above the law and claiming that the needs of U.S. business are paramount regardless of the cost to ordinary Americans, the impact on U.S. children, or Americans' rational opposition. So, Mayorkas is a piece of shit, and the best way to get rid of him would be to not elect Joseph Biden back into office. And I think right now, immigration is still the number one issue, at least as far as I know. So this is not good for the Biden administration, but I don't know if impeaching Mayorkas was the solution or not. All right, moving on back to Donald Trump's hush money trials, also in the news again. We showed you the clip earlier. 7 jurors are now chosen. Final stretch awaits today. The third day of jury selection in Donald Trump's hush money trial has commenced in a Manhattan courthouse. With 7 jurors already chosen and 5 more to go, the trial, which has attracted significant attention, involves allegations of hush money payments made during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. Although now we noticed yesterday that the charges they're saying happened, the 34 charges, only one occurred during the campaign. The rest occurred after he was already president. So the charges themselves are kind of bogus, which we knew already. Hello, Jariah. That's a new name in the chat. Welcome. Above the law, how does that work? You are supposed to enforce the law. Yeah, you are supposed to enforce the law. That's it. Exactly. And that's the problem. He's not doing it. He's just amazing. Anyway, the outcome of the trial remains uncertain, but a conviction could lead to a jail sentence. The process is expected to continue with the potential to enter the final stretch on Thursday. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of news about that. I don't need to talk about that too much. Now, other Trump news, though, apparently the polls, or the race for president between Joseph Rahim Biden and Trump, the man with the funny hair, apparently a youth surge and tightening race. What does that mean? Well, in a notable shift among the youth vote, former President Donald Trump has gained ground on President Joe Biden. As revealed by a recent Harvard IOP poll, this shift is particularly significant among young men, with Trump now trailing Biden by only 8 points among Americans ages 18 to 29. Now, they notoriously vote the least, but any small little bit change could make a big difference. It's a decrease, though. So it went from an 8-point difference, it's now an 8-point difference. It used to be a 23-point difference in the spring of 2020. National polls in key swing states also showed Trump leading or gaining ground, with Emerson College polling indicating a 46-43 lead for Trump over Biden. This development comes amidst a tightening race, with Trump leading in areas such as the economy, immigration, and mental physical fitness. The poll also highlights a growing Republican conservative trend among young men, while Biden maintains a strong lead among young women. Now, I think I don't know that the change in support is as big as the amount of people who are let down by the current administration, and how many people are not, maybe will just sit it out. So it'll be interesting, but people are talking about these polls. Shock poll, Trump edges past Biden. Oh, and also, Trump edges past Biden in key state, a potential sign in the cracks of the Democratic blue wall. What state might that be? Let's find out. Wisconsin, our neighbors to the east from Minnesota. One of seven crucial battleground states will likely decide if Biden or Trump wins in November's presidential election. Former President Donald Trump holds a 2-point edge over President Biden in Wisconsin, according to a new poll, at 51% among registered voters in the crucial Midwestern battleground state, with Biden at 49%, according to Marquette Law School poll released on Wednesday. So, yeah, most of the swing states, the so-called swing states, it seems as Trump has an edge in all of them. All those states that shut down counting in the middle of the night. Well, apparently the all those states have Trump leading. Now, let's remember, he was leading in all those states on election day in 2020 too. And then they shut shit down in all 6 states. And all of a sudden, boom, damn, bang, bomb. It was all different at the end of the night. So, who knows? You just got to beat the hell out of them. So, yeah, ages 18 to 29, Biden 50, Trump 37. The leading among white voters, 3 points. Among young non-white voters, 43 points. Lead among young women, 33 points. Lead among young men, 6 points. Anyway, so he's cut into the lead among young people. I'll put the political article in the links too. All right, moving on. Here's another. Now, let's go back to Joe Biden, because apparently, not only did he make a couple gaffes, but apparently Joe Biden visited a gas station. Now, remember when Trump came out of his trial? We showed you the clips yesterday. Trump coming out of the trial in New York City, and he traveled down to Harlem. Okay, and there were tons of people out there cheering on Donald Trump, and we want Trump and we love Trump and 4 more years and blah 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 blah. Lots of people talking, wanted to see Donald Trump. Okay, well, Joe Biden went to a gas station in Pittsburgh yesterday. Joe Biden visited a Sheetz gas station in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, aimed to replicate the successful public engagement of former President Trump, but failed to draw a significant crowd. Only one supporter greeted Biden at the door, and other patrons showed general disinterest. This contrasts sharply with Trump's visit, which attracted a large crowd. The event has sparked discussion on social media about Biden's charisma and appeal compared to Trump, with many users expressing their opinions. So here's a clip. N Wokeness has the clip here from C-SPAN. Here's Joe Biden visiting a gas station in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, a nice industrial town. Okay, oh, wait a minute. Look at the first thing he sees. Look at his excitement. What? Is this the optic he wants, walking in and smiling at some little kids? You stay away from them kids, Joe Biden. I haven't looked at the clip yet, so I'm reacting live on this one. Look at his face when he sees these kids. I'm going back. Watch. They go into the gas station. Look what he does. Oh, little girls. Jesus Christ. Look how excited he is. Yep, right to the little girl. Oh, he didn't touch her though. At least he didn't sniff her. I bet mom had a gun. Okay. Look, nobody's. Okay. I gotta say something about this. Look. My guess is when you see Secret Service people and the president, or whatever, you don't just run up to him. Okay, so if I get it. They say did they sell double scoop ice cream? I don't know. I got to think that maybe you don't just walk up to the president. You got to get permission from the Secret Service. But still, like people just kind of glanced at him. Okay. Oh, and remember because remember they had the Chick-fil-A thing going on the other day too, with Trump going to Chick-fil-A and he was chatting with him. So he was was Biden trying to duplicate that? I don't know. Oh, see, someone's backing him up. It still has a very, very different dynamic from when Trump was talking at Chick-fil-A or Trump in Harlem. But you can hear the woman in the foreground with the person with the camera saying, you need to step back, you need to stay back. So I think they're just keeping people away from him, which is understandable. He's the president of the United States. You got to be careful. Secret Service has got to do their job. Hello, by the way, Shrapnel and Amazing Disgrace. I see you. All right, so I'm going to minimize this. So the idea, but the theme here is that people didn't pay any attention to him or whatever. You know what? That's kind of just, I would say that is, I wouldn't, it's a little bit of a false narrative, and I'm no fan of Biden whatsoever. Believe me, I'm not. I think he's terrible, but, it just seems like, someone said this and everyone else decided to repeat it. So, because you can't just run up to the president and say, oh, hey, what's up, dude? Hey, high five there. Anyway. All right. Now the cover story today. We finally did the cover story and I am very confused, but this is trending on Twitter. Something in Utah, of all places, Utah. And it looks like there might be a fact check on this. But apparently students at a Utah school staged a walkout in protest against the school's allowance of students identifying as furries, citing incidents of biting, scratching, and other disruptive behaviors. The protest was sparked by the presence of a student using a litter box in the bathroom, with many expressing outrage and concern over the school's handling of the issue. School officials have yet to respond to the situation. Now, when I saw this, and I'm not confirming anything, I had to wonder, is this true? Did it actually happen? So apparently there's several people reporting on this or retweeting it or reposting it. Ian Miles Chong, who I'm always a little iffy about, but he does some good reporting. We just want to learn. So this is insane. Hundreds of students at Mount Nebo High School in Payson, Utah, staged a mass walkout from the school to protest the school's tolerance of furries. The students say that those who participate in the furry subculture are not only tolerated to act out their fantasies by dressing up in outfits that violate the school district's dress code, but also they bite, scratch, and bark and spray air freshener on other students who are just there to learn. The school's tolerance of furries has been extremely disruptive and even extends to putting a litter box in the girls' bathroom. The animal administrators deny the veracity of these complaints, claiming that the problem has been blown out of proportion. The school was previously in the news after a teacher who promoted climate change gave students bugs to eat for extra credit. Okay, so here's the protest. Let's see here if we can hear this.
So are they wearing a mask every day?
Yes. But every time they go, they're always just wearing a mask. But the principal finally stood up and banned those folks. But they still wear them every day. Yeah, and they don't get in trouble. The principal doesn't make them get in trouble.
I mean, this looks like
all the principal says is just.
This looks like a middle school. These are young kids.
Be kind. Be nice. Be nice. And then.
What's the point of dressing up like a furry?
It's just I don't know. They think they're so cool that they want to get a lot of attention. I think they want attention. So people can come at them and just look at them and think that they're so cool.
Okay.
Also,
are you guys going to be in trouble for walking out of school today?
No, maybe. We might. If we go back on school grounds, we will get in trouble. Hopefully not. We're standing for our rights. We're standing for what the furries are wrong. This is wrong. They should not be doing
Do your
this.
parents know you guys are out here?
Yes.
Okay.
They attack us. If they bite us and we just kick them, we get in trouble. They attack us. They attack us and we get in trouble.
And how else do they attack you guys?
They either bite us, they scratch us, they bark at us, they pounce on us. And then they run on all fours and pounce on people.
Why are they spraying you with Febreze?
Just because they're jerks. Because we apparently have rabies. And there's a rumor that they were putting litter boxes in the girls' bathroom. And they started putting litter boxes.
I heard that was just a rumor.
No, it's true.
Is this something you've seen?
Yeah, they're putting litter boxes in the bathroom. So we can't talk or say anything to the furries or even look at them, but they can come look at us and they can say stuff to us and touch us, and they don't get in trouble, but we get in trouble.
Interesting. That sounds like a double standard to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you get the gist. And as I scroll through this, here's a 30-second one. Student packs in Utah, Nebo Middle School. It is a middle school. Staged a walkout over this. What's this? I'm not gonna. We've seen the clip. There was one down here that said it had a. There was a fact check on this. Oh, Ed Krasenstein. Let's do our daily Krasenstein while Ed's talking about this. Now, Ed has some thoughts. So, in the voice of Ed Krasenstein, let's read what Ed's thoughts are. On Wednesday, there was a student walkout at Mount Nebo Middle School in Utah, allegedly over school policy that supports furries. This video created by conservative radio host. Conservative. Conservative radio host Adam Bartholomew has gone viral after being reposted by many right-leaning X accounts. Problem is that the school district says these are mostly false allegations. Wait a minute. Everybody right now, tell me the key word in that sentence. I'll wait 5 seconds for you to type. What's the key word in that sentence? Okay. Problem is that the school district says these are mostly false allegations. Seth Sorensen, the spokesman for the school district, says that kids are not wearing full costumes to class, and he dismissed claims that students are biting other students. Wait a minute. And they're not wearing full costumes, so they're wearing partial costumes? And this is school policy? Oh my God. The school claims some students wear headbands with ears, but they aren't referring to themselves as furries. He says that's pretty much the extent of the issue. So who is lying here? Are these kids lying? Were they potentially put up to this by adults with a motive? Or is the school district lying? Which are your thoughts? Look, Ed, I don't know, but the fact that if they're wearing partial costumes, I'm still concerned. Why? Someone here, I remember when I first mentioned furries in school where kids were identifying as dogs and cats, people said I was lying. Not only was it 100% true, but now I see we are actually teaching kids these things. This is insane. So here's one. This is from Libs TikTok. This extremely bizarre video was shown to fourth graders at Bromlett Elementary School in Georgia. It depicts a dog who thinks he's a cat to promote LGBTQ inclusivity and acceptance. This is what they're teaching your kids at school. Pure propaganda. So this is a video that's played for fourth graders in somewhere in Georgia, of all places.
Hi, I'm Gulliver, and this is Emmett. Hey!
Oh, hi. I'm Barry.
Oh, hey!
Barry with the rainbow
excited
collar.
You're here. We could use another dog.
Oh.
Yeah. Nice collar.
Oh, thank you. I like it.
So, what do you want to do first? Find a chew toy? Oh, chase our tail? Oh, I know. Let's sniff.
No, actually, I like to play with yarn. Yeah, it's
What?
fun. Yeah. Or I like to clean my paws like this. And you clean your face too.
okay.
Yeah. Or Or we could practice purring like this.
Purring?
Yeah. And we could try to meow.
What?
Meow. Like that. It's great fun. You should try it.
That's all I'm going to play. So, okay, so let's see. So, if you had a dog and it had cat-like behaviors, would you still be able to know that it's a dog? I would still call it a dog. Shoot me, dog. Yeah, I hear you. This is insane. This is insane. Okay. But anyway, so now supposedly, fact check, Nebo School District responds to the claim. So this is their response. Now here's the other part about this response, though. Okay, so they responded saying that it's not true. But okay, let's see. Oh, I see. This is where Ed got he did a little chat GPT on this. He said the claim was false. He also said students in the middle school were not wearing full body animal costumes as furries, part of the subculture of people who sometimes dress up like animal characters but act like humans are known to do. But by about 4 p.m. Wednesday, Bartholomew's videos and claims have been picked up and spread by libs of TikTok, an account on X that shares anti-LGBTQ posts and others clips geared at generating right-wing outrage. Bartholomew is married to Carrie Bartholomew, who is running as a far-right candidate for Utah State Board of Education in District 13. Students claims that furries bite them, bark at them, pounce on them without repercussion. However, if they defend themselves in any way, they get in trouble. Dismissing those claims, Sorensen said Wednesday the protests seemed to be organized after a direct district message sent to families last week was misinterpreted. Well, I wonder what that district message was. The message was sent after a group of students had been targeting another group of students, saying things that were overheard by others the administration felt were inappropriate and shouldn't be said. The group of students being targeted, he added, were students who sometimes come to school wearing headbands that have ears on them. He said he doesn't think the targeted students necessarily refer to themselves as furries. These are pretty young kids, he said. You'll have students show up with headbands and giant bows. You'll have students show up dressed as their favorite basketball player or baseball player. That's just what kids this age do. The school sent a message to families last week after word of the school's intervention, with students making the comments spread. A copy of the message wasn't immediately provided to the Salt Lake Tribune on late Wednesday afternoon because Sorensen said the campus and its staff had since dismissed for the day, and he didn't have a copy on hand. But Sorensen said he thinks some parents misinterpreted the note, incorrectly taking it as a message that the school was taking the side of a single group, saying, "We want you to be kind to this group, but they don't have to be kind to anyone else." Nobody was taking the side of one group or another, he said. What we were saying is everyone needs to treat everyone else with respect. Sorensen said some upset parents took to social media instead of discussing the issue with the school district. On Sunday, a Change.org petition was created titled "Students for Humans at School, Not Animals, aka Furries," demanding the district enforce its dress code. The online petition garnered more than 600 signatures as of Wednesday afternoon. The student protest came together Wednesday after some parents pulled their children from school. Moving forward, Sorensen said the district plans to stay the course, aiming to foster a respectful community. So I'm guessing maybe the cat box part was maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but who knows? So that's how the school responds. I'm just going to say it's a developing story. Who knows? 50 kids talking at once. I agree with the ones that said they are doing it for attention and get away with being jerks. I don't, that's, yeah, yes, exactly. That's probably part of it. All right, let's finish up. I got to get out of here. Apparently YouTube nuked Timcast IRL, threatens a permanent ban. They took down some videos by Timcast. YouTube is taking down Timcast IRL episodes featuring Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, and Michael Malice. sparking a wave of criticism from users. The episodes were removed 3 years after their original air date, with YouTube citing retroactive policy enforcement, but failing to specify the violated policies. Well, Alex Jones is a really bad man. That's why. The action has led to widespread discussion on censorship and content moderation, with many users expressing frustration over YouTube's handling of the situation. Some suggest that Timcast should consider moving to alternative platforms like Rumble to avoid such censorship issues in the future. And so I saw this I saw this earlier. YouTube decided today that this Timcast IRL episode violated the rules 3 years after theirs. That's the thing I hate about YouTube. They'll make a decision about a video from 5 years ago. Like now they gave me a strike one time when they did that, where they like a video from like 2019 or 2008 or 2020. They said it violated their rules. And then I went and appealed it. They said, oh no, well, this didn't violate your rules. So they removed the strike, but then they took down like 5 other videos without giving me a strike, saying, oh, these are not within our content guidelines, but since it's more than a year old, we will not give you a strike, but we will teach you how to be a good boy in the future. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. But I hate it when they do that with like old videos. They'll retroactively take something down. So a lot of people talking about it and probably pissed about it, because it's probably happened to most of the people who are talking about it, like myself. So we'll have to follow that story. It's funny though, they threatened a permanent ban of Timcast, one of the most popular live shows on YouTube. So thank you, Horatio Nelson, sponsor the show, dropping a deuce in the tip jar. Says Horatio says, I'm a fursuiter and I can say this shit with the youth furries is some psyop shit. It was never this popular when I was young. LOL. The kids are all right, though the litter box shit is hype from people that think furries equals zoobies fuckers. Cheers, dog. Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to disagree with you. If that's one of your things, that's cool. And after reading the district's explanation, I wonder how much of that story is hype and right-wing our own echo chamber. We in the right also have an echo chamber that often will often push things out there without checking the full details. So anyway, but I appreciate that, Horatio Nelson. Oh, Sheograth's in the house too. Nice to see you, man. All right. What's left is apparently the Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser took a taxpayer-funded trip to the Masters Golf Tournament in Augusta, Georgia, and it stirred some controversy. The trip, which included first-class flights, luxury accommodation, and limousine transportation, was justified as an economic development visit aimed at promoting sports and economic growth in the nation's capital. Maybe they'll play on one of Trump's courses one day. The lavish nature of the trip, funded by taxpayers, has sparked significant discussions and criticism, with many questioning the necessity and the cost of the visit. Well, I got to tell you, it's very important for mayors of most major cities to study sports activities in other cities to see if you can match the glory and the spectacle of great sporting events. And it's very important that as you do that, you do it in a manner that would be fitting of the athletes, because you want to get the full athlete experience. So if you're going to go to the Masters and study sports activity, you must do it in first class. And so it's very important to take first class accommodations, because most of these golfers have a lot of money, and some even fly in private jets. And then you must make sure you have very nice accommodations, because accommodations are part of the athlete experience, and you want to emulate the athlete experience. So you need to have the taxpayer pay for your experience, because you're doing a fact-finding mission to make money for your city. So that's exactly why Mayor Bowser decided to go to the Masters on the taxpayers' dimes. I got a feeling she may be forced to reimburse some of them dollars, because I'm sure a few people in D.C. are probably not happy with her. I didn't realize that was not on the screen properly. All right, let's finish up. Other news. This was, what was this? Oh, I don't have time for that. It's a 3-minute video. Tell you what, I'm going to call it a day. There's several other links in the, for articles and stuff that we had today that I'm just not going to get to. Particularly the SCOTUS asking questions in the J6 case. There's a case before the Supreme Court on the constitutionality of one of the charges that they've used to create felons out of many of the J6 people. There's also what else is there? Hassan Piker apparently told his $1.6 million to shoot a GOP senator. Did you hear about that? Senator Tom Cotton. You know Hassan Piker's, that's Cenk's nephew. The Columbia University president appears to mock liberal students after Republicans ask her a question during a hearing. That's unusual. There's several other articles, but I got to go. So I will drop all the links to the articles in the chat as we go through the outro. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. If you're new here, please hit the like and subscribe and all that. And if you are a regular, thanks for being here. Please, there's 35 people and 24 likes. So there's 10 of you haven't done it yet. Hit the like button, share the stream after the show. And if you want to sponsor the show like many other people did here, you can do it at pdognight.live. That's the link that pops up in the chat every once in a while. Did it pop up today though? Oh, the bot didn't work today. Well, what the hell's that? What's wrong with that? We'll fix that next time. pdognight.live, 24 hours a day. That's the best place to do super chats, because you can write as much as you want within the full limits that are allowed. And you don't have to pay more to do it. So, all right, I got to go. Thanks. I'll be back tomorrow around 10 o'clock Eastern. Have a wonderful day. My name's Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Here come the links. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thanks for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.